Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm doing another holiday tutorial. It is this look. I'm changing the format a little bit on this video. I'm doing a voiceover. I have probably only done a voiceover a couple times way back, like 2 years ago when I first started my channel, and I just thought let's change it up and let me know if you prefer that or you just kind of like the chit chat kind of situation. But anywho, if you want to see how I created this look, keep watching. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime. I'm using my Too Faced Hangover primer. Then I want to go in and treat my lips while I'm doing the rest of my makeup. I'm using my Bite Beauty Agave lip mask. Now lately I've just been enjoying using this e.l.f. HD lifting concealer. It's too dark to use on the rest of my face, but I've been using it just more on the inner corner. I'm just patting it out to allow that to cancel out any of that darkness before I go in with my foundation and another lighter skin toned concealer. Using my trusty Too Faced Born This Way foundation. It's my favorite. Just going to dot that all over my face so I know I'm just going to evenly disperse that out. And I'm going to be using my Real Techniques complexion sponge. I love this sponge. I actually like it better than the Beauty Blender, but I'm just going to bump that all over into the skin, just making sure that's really nice and blended out. I like using this as opposed to a brush sometimes because this kind of gives a little bit more of a natural finish. Now using my Maybelline Master Conceal, I'm just going to brighten under the eye, so I'm just taking that in that upside down triangle area, and I take it on the lids too to help cancel out any of that veining and prep my eyes for my eyeshadow. Using my Real Techniques complexion sponge again just to blend out that concealer. I like using a sponge because if you go a little too crazy with that product, it does absorb some of that concealer. Now just going to pinpoint conceal with my MAC Pro Longwear in NW20. I just need to cover up a couple of these blemishes. I had a little bit of a breakout around my chin area, mostly just a little bit of pigmentation from previous blemishes, but I'm just going through, just kind of making the skin look as perfected as possible. And I like to use a very fine pinpoint brush, and then what I do is I let that sit a little bit on the skin while I go to the rest of them, and then I just dab that with my finger. It is the best way to conceal a blemish, and you just build it up slowly. If you just go in with too much, it will start to look a little cakey. Now I'm just going to set my under eye using my e.l.f. high definition. This is the under eye setting powder. Love this stuff. Using my MAC Mineralize skin finish, I'm just going to go and powder the rest of my face lightly, just so nothing's slipping and sliding moving, especially since I went a little bit more on concealer. I want to set all of that so it doesn't move throughout the day. Of course, my brows, I can't skip this step, using my trusty NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Ash Brown. It's my favorite way to do my brows. I'm obsessed and I don't know if I'll ever change. This is just working for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill in, creating those little hairs, and it just makes a world of difference when they're done. Now I'm just grabbing a light peach eyeshadow. This is from Tarte. It came in a Tarte palette. It's called Peachy Keen. You can use any brand. You just want a peach shade, kind of like peachy skin tone color. And I'm just putting that in my crease just to add a little bit of definition and kind of set things up to help blend out later when I'm going in with more color. Now I'm using a color actually I owned for a while, but I've never played around with. This is the Lorac eyeshadow in the color Sage. I'm just putting that more on the outside part of my eye, working that into the crease, creating kind of like a little bit of an ombre, just really blending that in. Now using ColourPop's Super Shock eyeshadow, and I heart this. This is a really nice champagne shade, and I just want to go in the inner corner, blending it to the center of the lid. That's just going to give more of a pop of brightness, and I do like this. It's a really gorgeous champagne shade, very pigmented. I recommend using your finger or a flat synthetic brush to pack on the color. I'm just going to grab a little bit of that Sage shade, and I'm just going to go on the bottom lash line and kind of just create a line here following the whole length of my lower lash line, and then I'm just going to buff that out and smoke that out a little bit, diffuse that color so it gives more of a smokier bottom lash line. I do like this color a lot because on everybody it's different, so on camera it kind of comes off a little bit more gray silvery, but it is a green shade, and I think depending on your skin tone and your eye color it will come off differently, which is really fun. I'm just going to curl my eyelashes before we apply the mascara. Simple. Now I'm just going in with my, what is this? Oh yes, my Jessie's Girl liquid eyeliner. It's my favorite eyeliner to date. I absolutely love this. Definitely check it out. I'm just going to get really close to the lash line and start creating my flick for my cat eye. Keeping things on the fairly thin side. I'm not going too thick. I'm just doing a classic wing, but keeping it really thin at the lash line. Just little strokes. Take your time. And this is the hard part, matching up to make sure both wings are even. That's always the hardest part. Now I'm going in and tight lining the upper and lower lash line with my Xtreme Glideliner Long Lasting Eye Pencil in Velvet Teal. This is a really pretty, almost sage color. It looks to me more sage than a teal would. Now I'm just using my mascara. This is the Lancome Hypnose Mascara in black. I'm just applying a coat of that. I like this mascara a lot. It really creates full, luscious lashes. It's one of my favorites. Now I'm just going to warm up the face using my Bronze Booster from Physicians Formula. This is the light medium shade. I'm going very lightly with this. I don't want to have anything too harsh, but just enough to kind of warm up those edges and slightly contour a little bit. Nothing too defining. Just grabbing my Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in True Love to apply to the apples of my cheeks, kind of work back a little bit just to add a nice flush of color. I really like this shade. It's a nice classic pink. Now I have to highlight. I love my highlight, and I'm using my Becca Champagne Pop here. I'm taking that on the apples as well. I'm really blending that out in big circles. I always go on the tip of my nose as well, and I can't forget my Cupid's bow. That just really helps create a little bit more of a fuller upper lip. Now I'm going to line my lips and completely fill them in. I'm using the Exaggerate by Rimmel liner. This is in the color Addiction. I really love this shade. It's pretty on its own or with a gloss on top. It's a nice mauvey brown shade. And because I want more of a matte finish for my lips today, I'm using the Revlon Ultra HD Matte Lip Color to top off that liner. This is in the color Seduction. It's more of a nude shade, so it's going to tone down that mauve color in the liner. And that's our completed look. I do like how this came out. I think that depending on your skin tone, that green shade is gonna look a little different because, you know, when I'm looking at it on myself, it kind of comes off a little bit gray, and that's cool too. I think it's gonna be different on each person, which is fun. But if you liked this video, don't forget to give this a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, you know where that button lives. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!